Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So, we've had one of the 99 mod servos sent in from Ed on one of our subscribers, and he's as curious as I am to see what sort of power and what sort of torque these put out, what sort of power they draw. And this is the 99 mod DSC45MG. It's a coreless digital servo. So, let's bring you in, have a close-up look, and see what the torque meter makes of it. Right, so we'll run this through at 5.8 volts, as close as I can get to 6 with this BEC. And we're looking at pulling about 4.5 amp. So it looks like we're also averaging 40.9 kg or 35.5 feet-pound per inch and 4 Newton meters. So let's up the voltage, we'll reset it, see what we get. So if we take the voltage up to 7.34 volt, which is 7.4, so on this one we're going to be averaging around 42.4 and it's pulling nearly 5 amp I believe. So maxing out at about 6 amp. So let's up it to 8.4 volt. And on that one, looks like we're maxing out roughly about 5 amp. So the amp, as the voltage goes up, the amp draw drop back down. And on this one, let's have a look. So we've got an average of 50 kilograms of torque from an advertised 45. There is a bit of heat building up in it now, so let's power it off, and then, as I always do, and Ed has asked me to do this, so let's quickly drop the bottom of this servo off. And we'll see what we're faced with on the inside of it. Usually pretty easy to get open, these. So they are really short screws on this one, and I am seeing rubber O-rings on the actual screws themselves. And it does have a rubber O-ring, rubber gasket all the way round. Quite curious that the circuit board's set at an angle on these. Not sure if there's any conformal coat or anything, but it's definitely a coreless motor. You can tell by the actual design and where the poles are. So yeah, quite a nice servo. Certainly very quick to respond with it being coreless, less rotational mass. And given enough amps on a decent BEC and the correct voltage, you're going to reliably easily get the advertised torque out of it. The peak was around 50 on average. Bearing in mind this is measuring to an actual stop every time, so it's quite hard work for the servo, but there's no doubt in my mind this would put out the 45 kilograms of torque constantly. and not have an issue with it. It's cooled back down now. It's not, it didn't get overly hot. And also, because of the design of these, very quiet, which is also quite nice with a servo. So I believe you're looking around about 40 kilograms of torque at 6 volt, around about 45 at 7.4, and peaking up towards 50 kilograms of torque once you start getting 8.4 volt into it. I think the max amps that I saw it pull was around 6 or 7. I'm not sure if the camera's quick enough to catch it, but if I stick a servo arm on here for you, give you a rough idea of the speed of it. So that's 8.4 volt, 7.4 volt, so it is very responsive, and that's 6 volt. And that is the 45 kg advertised coreless, and it's exactly that. But let's wrap this one up. So there you have it, the DSC45MG HV 99 mod 45 kilogram coreless servo. Again, thanks to Ed for sending this one over. It's cracking servo. I'd have no worries whatsoever using one of these myself, or advising people. Yeah, it's a cracking servo. Decent length servo cable, nice aluminium case, and all metal gears. So yeah, cracking servo, that one. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.